So, the MAC-10. Often described as the box that bullets come out of, like a 10-piece chicken nugget meal, the MAC-10 is the SMG equivalent of fast food. While the weapon has always been a mainstay in the Counter-Strike arsenal, it was often used as a joke, favored for its thuggish appeal rather than its actual effectiveness in competitive play. But times have changed, and in Global Offensive, the MAC-10 has seemingly improved, proving to be delicious on occasion, but terrible in the long run. With other, stronger SMG choices like the UMP, MP7, and P90, why is it that players prefer to use the MAC-10 in competitive play? Well, just like with fast food, it may not be the healthiest choice, but it's still the cheapest SMG in CSGO. Of course, before we get into the bulk of this breakdown discussion, as usual I won't be presenting all of the weapon statistics, but just the ones I find to be important and or interesting. Oh, updated sounds for all the SMGs. Oh wait, that means all my stockpiled footage. It's worthless now.
Wish we could turn back time to the good old days.
So, because of the new sound updates, most of the MAC-10 footage I will be using will obviously be from previous patches. To my knowledge, the new weapon sounds don't actually change any of the SMG's weapon statistics, so besides sounding a little different, they should by and large play exactly the same. As mediocre as my gameplay footage may seem, it actually does take me quite a while to stock relevant clips from my competitive matches, so cut me some slack. Anyways, onto the weapon statistics. For just $1,050, the MAC-10 is again the cheapest SMG, available only to the terrorist side. In conjunction with its bargain pricing, the MAC-10 possesses the boosted SMG kill award of $600, giving it the potential to be an incredible investment if used wisely. For the price, you would expect the MAC-10 to be one of the weaker SMG options, but to the contrary, at 29 damage per bullet, the MAC-10 ties for second among SMGs in both raw bullet damage and the second highest SMG rate of fire at 800 rounds per minute. Combined together with several other facets, the MAC-10 also scores second for unarmored DPS. However, damage against Kevlar is a different story.
Deploying flashbang. Planted.
At 57.5%, the MAC-10 is tied with the Bison as the weakest SMG in terms of armor penetration. From second best against unarmored opponents, the MAC-10's terrible armor penetration drastically lowers its DPS ranking to just about second worst, barely beating the MP9 by one speck of damage. On the bright side, at 240 move speed, the MAC-10 contains one of the highest weapon mobilities in the game, providing pistol-like agility with automatic firing capabilities. In addition, at 13.9 and 10.58, the MAC-10 standing and crouching inaccuracies are surprisingly good for an SMG. But combined with its high recoil and extreme firing inaccuracy, the MAC-10's stationary usage is mediocre at best. Of course, where the gun truly excels is with its exceptionally low running inaccuracy. At 27.89, the MAC-10 has the lowest running inaccuracy of all SMGs, giving even a few pistols a run for their money. It also contains the second lowest SMG jumping inaccuracy, which isn't amazing, but more than serviceable and a welcome addition in CQC situations. Interestingly enough, the MAC-10 also contains the lowest ladder in accuracy at 69.12. But unless you're partaking in some sort of custom ladder match, I'm not really sure how useful that accuracy would be. Speaking of which, how exactly do you use the MAC-10? Well, as you've probably guessed, with its rather mediocre recoil, firing, and stationary inaccuracies, the MAC-10 has a rather limited overall utility, and is best used in CQC as a mobile spray and pray weapon. Taking a quick look at the MAC-10 spray pattern, we see that it follows mostly straightforward trajectories, rising up to the left and continuing horizontally. In my opinion, this makes for simpler recoil compensation. Of course, you don't necessarily want to spray all of the time, as there are plenty of situations where controlled bursting is far more effective. But I would suggest that you favor standing to shoot over crouching and spraying. While crouching may increase recoil control, it also negates the MAC-10's biggest advantage of weapon mobility. Unlike other SMGs such as the UMP or MP9, the MAC-10 has neither the armor penetration or accuracy statistics to make it a reliable crouch dueling weapon. Standing to shoot affords you added mobility, which, in addition to making you a harder target to hit, also allows for a multitude of tactical options. Things like closing a range gap, flanking enemy positions, and running to cover. All of which can be done while spraying and praying thanks to the weapon's outstanding mobility statistics. So, I suggest using the MAC-10 in a hyper-aggressive manner, abusing its agility to not only provide distraction, but to also catch enemy players unprepared. To be fair, playing so aggressively can sometimes be a gamble. But considering the MAC-10's bargain pricing, the buy-in price is low, and worth the potential payout. Even if you don't manage to score any kills, the weapon is still a useful addition when playing as a cohesive team. For example, on entry, the MAC-10 serves as an excellent distraction, as its agility decreases hit chance and increases survivability. Moreover, its high automatic fire rate ensures you a respectable threat level by sustaining adequate levels of lethality. Think of it like taking aggro to protect the rest of your team. Honestly, just about any situation that requires mobility over firepower would benefit from using a MAC-10.
We are going to do this. Terrorists win.
But that brings up another important question. When should you buy a MAC-10? Well, traditionally, farming weapons, like the MAC-10, were purchased exclusively as anti-save weapons. After resetting or breaking an enemy's economy, weapons with a boosted kill award were used to bolster one's zone bank. However, nowadays, with just how effective pistol armor has been, the meta has changed, increasing the amount of force buys and decreasing the predictability of enemy full saves. So, while the MAC-10 may have been one of the safest SMG options against unarmored opponents, its weakness against full armor severely limits its utility as a full anti-eco weapon. Still, even with one of the weakest SMG armor pens, the MAC-10's movement speed, fire rate, and running accuracy allow the weapon to hold its own against Kevlar helmet in close quarters combat. Plus, the armor pen weakness is not necessarily all bad,
Throwing a flashback.
as it does decrease the weapon's liability if dropped to an enemy. Furthermore, if you do manage to catch your opponents naked without armor, you'll think,
damn, it feels good to be a gangster. A real gangsta ass nigga plays his cards right. A real gangsta ass nigga never runs his fucking mouth.
so considering the trade-offs and the fact that farming weapons are meant to be disposable, I do believe that purchasing a MAC-10 for any anti-eco is worth the risk.
Terrorists win.
On a side note, without going too in-depth into the current meta structure, there are also times where the MAC-10 can be used quite effectively on standard gun rounds. It should be no surprise that CT players on average are required to spend more money to fully equip themselves.
Terrorists win.
As such, when on CT side, many players have begun purchasing Kevlar only, foregoing the addition of a helmet to save an extra $350. The thought process being, well, if I expect the enemy to buy rifles, what is the point of buying a helmet if the AK-47 can one-tap me at any range? With the increase in popularity of force buying pistol armor, so too has this helmetless strategy. So mixing in a MAC-10 buy combined with some cheeky hyper-aggressive pushes can certainly work from time to time. So in conclusion, while the MAC-10 possesses great statistic advantage over unarmored opponents, its terrible armor penetration, mediocre standing accuracies, and short effective range severely limit its overall potential. Yet, the weapon is more than capable of providing significant returns if used effectively. Of mobility, fire rate, and running accuracies, the MAC-10 becomes a rather formidable anti-eco weapon, especially against a full save. Now, while it may not be particularly effective in a solo crouch duel, it certainly produces enough incentive and benefits to be useful when playing as a cohesive team.
Terrorists win.
But of course, that's just my opinion. Your opinion is bad.
You should feel bad.
Obviously, I haven't covered every aspect of the MAC-10, but hopefully the information I've provided can be of some use to you one way or another. With that said, feel free to add your own interpretation, and let me know what you think.
You suck!
In the end, the MAC-10 may not technically be the strongest, most accurate, or even most cost-effective, but it's still the cheapest SMG in CSGO.
Cracky.